Well, there are similar socioeconomic status of the United States of America, but none beats the record of the United States in gun violence and mass shootings.
If Congress had passed some common sense gun safety reforms after Newtown, after a group of children had been gunned down in their own classroom, reforms that 90% of the American people supported, we wouldn't have prevented every act of violence, or even most. We don't know it would have prevented what happened in Charleston. No reform can guarantee the elimination of violence, but we might still have some more Americans with us.
Listen to the TSU Chief of Police. Parents, students, and professors share their views on this issue.
Right here with me is Chief Raymond Green, the TSU Chief of Police, and we get to discuss the new gun laws, gun violence in the United States, and safety.
Thank you for having me on your program for your class. So we are sincerely glad to be a part of this.
So it's an established fact that the United States has the highest rate of gun violence and mass shootings, and despite that, there is this new gun law that has been put into place. The Senate Bill 17 and that of 11, Senate Bill 11,
right.
One that allows for holstered open carry of handguns, and the other that allows for concealed handguns at public universities.
Correct.
All right. Do you think this is the kind of policies needed for this country right now, knowing the state of things?
Well, in terms of the statistics that you brought out, yes, the United States has a high number of gun violence incidents in our country, and one of the highest in the nation, in the world. So in terms of the laws that have been put in place, my personal opinion is no irresponsible person should have a weapon on them in any case. But in terms of the two laws, yes, two laws were passed here in Texas here recently. You have the House Bill 17, House Bill 11. One is open carry and one is campus carry. Campus carry hadn't gone into effect yet. So campus carry goes into effect August 1st.
August 1st.
No, it's January 1 at midnight, open carry went into effect. Now that's a difference. There's a difference between open carry and campus carry. As of January 1, 2016, people were allowed to openly carry their handguns anywhere within the state of Texas. However, that does not apply to any universities. You cannot openly carry on a university campus. Openly carrying on a university campus is a crime. And if you come on Texas Southern University campus openly carrying, we will handle that situation accordingly, and you will be escorted off our campus and most likely taken to jail for.
How prepared is the Texas law enforcement agencies for this holstered open carry and the concealed handguns on campus?
I believe all the Texas law enforcement is preparing. Since we learned from a law enforcement community that these laws were more than likely going to be passed, we started preparing. So there were several conferences, several roundtable discussions, several incidents that were put in place, which allowed different agencies to get together to prepare policies and procedures for how to deal with situations like this here. Since then, we've also established something for campus carry on our campus. There was a mandate in there that there was a committee that was to be placed into effect by each campus community. Okay. And from that point on, there was policies that should be established. Within those policies, there should be guidelines stating where you should and shouldn't carry guns on college campuses. We had 4 major incidents on our campus last semester. Unfortunately, out of those 4 incidents, we had a loss of life in 2 of those incidents, which were involved with gun violence. Taking over this job or accepting this position back in November, there was a number of things I had to do in terms of restructuring this organization. And so I kind of broke it down into phases in terms of the immediate needs that we need to do, and then as we got past those immediate needs, some of the broader needs that we needed to accomplish. And now we're in the phase 3 of it, where we're actually implementing strategic plans of action. So to answer your questions, there was a number of things we had to do. First of all, we had to adopt and implement a policing strategy. Okay. I subscribe to community-based policing, which is community policing. And with that, if you ever went out and looked at the Department of Justice cops office, they give you a definition. It talks about social crime, reduction of social crime and social disorder and the fear of crime. But it's three very important things that it talks about in that definition from the Department of Justice. It talks about to make this a community policing successful. There's three things you must do, and the three things are partnerships, organizational transformation, and problem solving. So one of the things is, here's an example of partnerships, what we're doing now. Okay. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to sit down with you and assist you with this, because this is building partnerships. We're not only trying to just build partnerships with our students, we're trying to build partnerships around the community and make sure they understand that we're here for them, and also to utilize them in our process of making Texas Southern University a safe campus. Second part of that is organizational transformation. That organizational transformation piece is our organization is prepared to meet the needs of the community that we serve. And then the third part of that is problem solving. We always have to be in a problem solving state to address issues such as this campus carry that's coming up. It's a law now, so we cannot sit around and not be prepared. We have to problem solve our way things out there. So those are one of the initiatives that we've done in terms of making sure this campus remains safe. There was a number of other things we've done. I hope you've recognized new uniforms on our officers and our security officers.
I think anything that creates a sense of fear among our community and our campus is a concern for us. So the new gun laws definitely are a concern for us in our role for protecting the university and the community. I believe more restricted gun laws are needed. My responsibility here is essentially the dissemination of information. I have to be able to put out all the information on all the outlets and social media handles with regard to safety here on the campus. So it is my duty to alert the campus and the community about what's going on with regard to their safety. We came up with the hashtag My Campus, My Safety.
Oh, tell us about that.
We want our students to become advocates and ambassadors for their safety on and around their campus. If you see something, say something. We want our students to be able to approach us and let us know what's going on. And we even created a tip line for students who had issues with anonymity, if they wanted to remain anonymous. So they can call 713-313-7TIP and leave a message in the voicemail and let us know what's going on without even telling us who you are.
For one gun law, as far as having the guns on campus, I kind of have mixed emotions. Because of the mass shootings that go on campus, I think it will be a safety factor, knowing that someone with actual weapons training has this weapon and can protect the campus if something happens. Also, they can protect themselves if a student does something or goes erratic.
I feel that it's absolutely ridiculous to put a law like this into action with seeing, with the increased numbers of shootings via campus and or, movie theaters, or just regardless of the setting and the scenario, just it's an epidemic already with how many people are actually killed or hurt by firearms.
I think that America focuses on violence too much. If you look at the military, look how much money they dove into the military, but we're in so much debt in education. I think if we promote more education and stop promoting so much violence, I think that's where the misconstrue between the government and what's actually going on in the community is the issue.
Yes, since I heard it, I have not been comfortable. I have not been at rest. I don't think it's safe for our children and for our communities. I don't think it's safe at all for students to be allowed to carry concealed handguns with them in on campuses. It will lead to more violence. It will lead to rampant and unnecessary killings.
First one being, being able to carry handgun. openly in public. It doesn't make sense. You know, what is going to turn this country into is a wild, wild west, where people settle disputes with a gunfight. And then whoever is able to draw, the fastest will be the one standing.
If you understand the history of this country, the history, it's a very long one on matter of war, violence, and hence the need for people to protect themselves.
It is very concerning to me, as well as disappointing to me, that this legislation was introduced and ultimately passed. I think that it concerns me because of where I work in an open public university. We don't have walls up. Anyone can come in and out of our campus quite easily, whether they're driving or merely walking. But aside from that, I'm not even as much concerned about outsiders as I am students and faculty, because I've always felt as though higher educational environments and settings can be very stressful, and they are pressure cookers. And what I mean by that is, they're pressure cookers, and so they can be very stressful, and we can have a lot of bizarre and unpredictable behaviors to occur and manifest.
I'm not so comfortable with the average John Doe working person who may have a concealed weapon license carrying, because I don't feel like they've received the same kind of training that someone in law enforcement would have. We have research laboratories that have liquid nitrogen and carbon dioxide gas, in addition to the methane gas that comes through the spigots on the laptops. Guns do not belong on a research floor. We have certain organisms that if an incubator were to become damaged because of gunfire, either you're releasing a pathogen into our ventilation system in the science building that could cause a problem, or you are causing damage to cells that cost thousands of dollars, which are not easily replaceable. So I just don't think that guns belong in the research laboratory environment, and I certainly don't think that they belong in a student laboratory type environment.
According to the gun violence tracker, which catalogs such incidents, about 51,805 incidents of these occurred in 2014. 280 of these were mass shootings, and 12,586 people lost their lives. In 2015, over 13,400 people lost their lives. Despite these devastating incidents, two Senate bills were passed into law. One allowing for also the open carry of handguns, and the other allowing for concealed carrying of handguns on the campuses of public universities. Is there an end to the shooting menace?
Just make sure that we're all being responsible.
I don't think more weapons or access to weapons is the answer. I think decreasing access is the way we need to go.
That's not, the solution is not more guns on college campuses or more guns on the street. I think, the solution is to reduce, the amount of guns we have in the hands of citizens.
But I think that if you take the guns out of the youth and out of those communities and put books in their hands, they'll actually think that it's okay to shoot with their mind and not with the gun.
Love should also consider what other countries who are similar to us in terms of makeup, in terms of our wealth, the things that they do. What are some of the policies that they have in place? We don't have to keep doing things the same way that we've done them. As society and the world changes and evolves, so must our policies.